people increasingly adopted other approaches to service delivery like contracting out, commercialization, and privatization. Contracting out service entails government agency recruiting commercial or non-profit organization. This method is frequently viewed as an opportunity to cut costs while improving the delivery of service by leveraging the private industry experience and efficiency. Commercialization is the process of converting public service into financially viable companies. The privatization process, on the other hand, is the shift of ownership and authority at the public service from the government to the private sector. The approach is usually employed in order to decrease public sector debt, encourage competitiveness, and stimulate investors from abroad. Charging for service provided by the government is another strategy to monitor demand and make currency. Thank you.
Contracting out services could be defined as a part of public sector reform strategy wherein government engage a private entity to provide a service within a set of specific conditions. One of the advantages of this public sector reform strategy is cost cutting. For example, organizations can avoid the cost for internal employees by contracting non-core tasks. Next, the businesses also can access specialized knowledge such as logistics, human resource, and IT assistance so that they can enhance their service quality. For example, many organizations in Malaysia, such as Intel, upskill the labor force and make it compliant with international standards.
Next, commercialization. Commercialization refers to the process of bringing new products or services to the market with the aim of achieving financial gain. Commercialization is a historical process that turns more things into commodities, bring more people into market exchange, makes more social transactions commercial transactions, and interprets more of the value of the thing through pricing. There are some advantages. When one is to guarantee the successful launch, evaluate consumer demands, carry out competitive analysis, and create efficient marketing plans. Navigating possible market entrants, barrier, and regulatory requirements. Also, impact on economic growth and innovation. Expand customer choice by turning creative ideas into viable goods, more affordable costs, higher quality goods and services, and enhance effectiveness. Boost an economy and add new jobs in sectors like manufacturing, distribution, and retail. Also comes with a downside, which is significant social and ethical issue. Example, the pursuit of profit may occasionally result in unfavorable entities like labor exploitation or environmental destruction.
Next, this is about privatization. The meaning of privatization is the process of transferring ownership, control or management of a business, enterprise agency, public service or public property from the public sector to the private sector. Has been a prominent economic policy in many countries over the past few decades. This is the reason for privatization. First one is the belief that private companies driven by profit motives operate more efficiently than government-run entities. The second one is seen as a way to inject market discipline and improve efficiency. The last one to generate significant revenue for government. Next, this is privatization method. The first method of privatization is public offering, where shares of the company are sold to the public through the stock market. The second one is private sales, involves selling assets directly to private investor or company. For example, the present experience with privatization in both West and East European countries indicate the important role of the management buyout feature in the privatization models and technique used in some of these countries.
Next, it is about charging. Charging here refers to the government charges applies to every products and services that are provided by the public sector itself. One significant thing that we can see from the government charges that it is different from private sector. The rate of charges for private sector would be solely based on profits, while public sector would charge the services based on the real-time purchasing power of their citizens. When it comes to purchasing power of the citizens, it usually measured by the income of the citizen itself. Yeah, therefore, in Malaysia, there's a social classifications where each citizens are divided into three different groups, which are T20, M40, and B40 groups. These income classifications help the government in determining which groups should receive subsidized products and services, which mostly received by the B40 groups. And the reason for this is to cure the income imbalance in the nation. Next, when it comes to government charges, one contemporary issue that we can look into is on the Malaysia healthcare services. Malaysia healthcare services is expected to have these two characteristics. One, it is greatly subsidized rates, especially for low income groups such as B40. Second, it is the high quality of services, just like what private medical sector has provided. The question is, how do we integrate two of these characteristics? Therefore, government introduce subsidized charges. How does the charges for private medical sector been subsidized? This is through various form of capital injections and financing through GLCs, which is government-linked corporations such as SIMDABI and KPJ. These government-linked corporations allow patients to pay only minimal amounts for admissions as well as access to outpatient clinics. The reason for this is because the cost of services are covered by the budgetary allocations from the government treasury. Therefore, it allows different income class of the citizens to access or use the service from private medical center.
To summarize, in modern public administration, the need for efficiencies, cost saving, and enhanced service delivery has resulted in the implementation of a variety of market-based techniques, contracting out service, commercialization, the privatization process, and changing for service are the most notable of these techniques. Contracting out services entail transferring the delivery of public services to private companies. Commercialization involves transforming public service to behave like companies. Privatization involves transferring ownership and control of public services or asset to the private sector. Charging for service entail asking people to pay directly for the public services they utilize. Each of these approaches has potential benefit, but they also provide substantial obstacles that must be carefully considered and balanced.